But I said all that on stream and everything. I'm not 100% sure kind of thing. And I'm just curious, but he might have been one of those where he rolls it and then he reaches for something and he knocks it over, but they know what the roll really was or something. I don't know, but I was wondering about that. Yeah, neither Linda nor Gary is an easy out at all. Linda's getting stronger. She's aggressive,
Well, I'm supposed to play Al.
Al? Otis?
Yeah, in the Monday round of the Masters, but.
Oh, yeah. I haven't started yet. I don't start till tomorrow.
But I think they wanted to stream it, but I don't know if they're going to now. We'll see.
Yeah, if they're having trouble, it's probably the hotel connection is the problem. That's usually what it is. Oh, here they are. They're back. All right. So the stream is back, and we've got now I see that Gary Koscielny is the favorite in this game. He would like to win a gammon so he could get to 4-away. And Linda stays on the bar. Double 3, that's what I want, says Gary. A mere double 1, how oogly moogly. Now he could play, he could do this, or he could switch from the 5 to the 4. Switching the 5 from the 4 is interesting. Now that she rolled a 5, you could say, oh, look what she would have done. But having the gap on a higher point in your board is safer in general. And now she's going to cover her 2-point just in case, instead of getting a precious crossover pip. She probably will save the gammon, very probably. Now she's going to move every possible pip in her outer board without moving her assassin, her little straggler. Uh-oh, back again. Gary is going to hit and put her on the bar, and now he's only got a 6-2 to leave a blot. Or a parlay, and I think she's going to go 7-2 maybe. She's going to say, nah, so go 7-2. I'll sacrifice a mere pip. There's a 6-3. Now her chance to hit next turn is 44, 12, 96. First he's got to roll 6 numbers. 66 out of 12, 96. And there it is, 6-1-5-1-4-1, followed by a single ace. No. So he's thinking, shall I play to gammon her, or by hitting, or shall I take one off and gain extra chances if I get missed? And he says, now, the gammon is going to be good. How good is it going to be? We'll see how good once I win it. Once she says on the bar again, jinx, jinx. The accusations are flying. Now, Linda is in some trouble in gammon-saving world. She might be a slight favorite to save it or something. Now, she definitely is a favorite to save it. And she's got 23 numbers to save it next turn, no matter what. So he's only got 78, 12 to 96 to gammon, and that's gone to 0. But he gave it the old college try. I guarantee that Linda did not want to see that 4-1 play. Maybe it was the wrong play anyway, but it would have inspired fear in Linda more than any other play. Then again, maybe it was the right play. Or maybe it would have been the right play if Gary had 2 more points in the match. Now he is 5 away. Post Crawford. That's probably like a 19% chance. So that's a good. I think at the score, right? At the score, Linda's got a free take. In other words, if she gives up 1 point, she gives Gary gives Gary the chance to play one less game, in the chain of games he has to win to win the match post Crawford. Given that Gary will almost always be in the game no matter what, I believe he should have played 2 down from his midpoint as an opening play because it is more prime attack and therefore volatility / gammon oriented. Instead, he played a normal, the normal splitting through 2, and Linda replied with a good reply, 6-4 hitting. And then he doubled, even though I do not think he could have lost his market at all that turn. So now Linda is thinking, shall I make my 5-point? Now a gammon is going to save a game. A gammon is going to get a double match point if Gary wins a gammon. But I think Linda was probably right to make that beautiful 5-point because it has lasting value. Now she can cover her 11-point to boot. Gary says, I'll roll a double 5 or 5-2, no problem. Now 2-1, he's got an interesting play. I think he should not. Well, I don't know. I would be tempted to go 4 to 3 hit to 1. But Gary says probably to himself, I will win more games this way. I am not so doggone sure I would have played 24 to 23 instead of 5 to 4. I mean 6 to 5. Because it's self-blockage on the 23-point. And you don't, if you get a 6, you want to play it 24 to 18. So here's the case in point, bad 6. So bad 6 is going to be 13 to 7. It's not so bad because it builds for this attack. But now Linda could lose a gammon. And there is a deuce to cover and a 6 probably. He might just, this is good. This is good. He doesn't want to get blocked. Bill Rudy calls this blitz connectivity. So Gary is happy to. I am thinking 23-21 and 13-9, like that.
Well played.
Thank you. And now Linda says, I am okay. She could minimize. Yeah, she's going to minimize shots against her. 15 numbers this way. Any one is 11, 4, 3, 5, 2. There is a 4-3. I think she was right as rain. She could have covered her 1 point, but I think the overriding concern was not to be hit. All right, Gary Koscielny, what are you going to do? Are you going to slot your 3-point? Or are you going to do the blitz connectivity play of ensuring that your back checkers can go away? Now, are you going to do that? Maybe that's right. I don't even know what the 2 would have been. But I think the 2 would have been, I think he was right, actually.
I think it was right too, Marty.
He could have gone 7 to 5. And 7 to 5, it gave a good 2, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ones?
Yeah. 7 to 5 gave a good 2, and he didn't have a good 2 with his back checkers. And now Linda's got 2 on the bar. At least she doesn't have any blots in her board. Waff, waff, waff. Now I think the 5-4 out and around is right. Now double 4 will barely close the board. Oh, she's in with a 3. And a 6-5. Now I think maybe blitz connectivity is going to rule the day again. How are we going to play a 5? We could play a 5 to the 13-point, minimizing shots, maximizing mobility. We could just try for the blitz because it's so valuable to blitz. And I've got a 4. Now just switch points and just probably play. Well, I don't know. I suppose you're going to play 24-22. Yeah. That's a advanced play, I think, is correct. And not switching in a position like this and hitting loose instead is just usually wrong. 2 on the bar against a 5-point board is better by far. Oh, she's in with the 4. And he's going to attack if ever he can, but unfortunately, that does not hit. And real gammon saving chances will be Linda's with a 4. 5-4, 16 to 9. And a 4, no. And now Gary says, oh, now I'm going to get you. 4-3, bang, bango, wango, like that. Fan, double 6, leave 2 blots. No fan. There's Linda with a clutch 4. Gary has 15 return shots, and oh, he fans, and she does not. He still has the same 15 return shots there. And there is one of them. It's a 4, a clutch 4. Ah, clutch 4. The kibitzers are at the edge of their collective seat. There it is again. A 4, a 2. Wah! She needs a 4, or Gary needs to. Oh, Linda is the queen of all 4s.
Hit it again.
4-3 again. That's. I think he's right. He could have been a wimpy Waldo. There it is. There it is. Now he still has a few bad numbers. 4-4-2-2, 4-2, 4-3 will do it. No, he can't move that. He gotta go around the corner. He'll see it. He'll see it. He says, all right, around the corner it is. Hopefully I don't roll a double 4 or the like. 5-3 is going to move both. He should be consulting his horoscope. He should be seeing, how many bad numbers are there? He might have had fewer if he just went 21-13. But all is not lost. There are no blot numbers now. Now there's a double 6 blot number, but he couldn't do anything about it unless he, well, he could have maybe, I don't know, but it was, no, I guess he could not have really. Unfortunately, he is, probably this is just going to be good. Leaving the spares on the 4 and 3 points was probably right, even though in some variations it was worse. Now he is, I believe this is best instead of burying a checker off, because Linda is such an underdog to save that gammon, and it was a safer play that Gary made. Only 2 blot numbers versus it would have been 4 the other way. And, oh, double boxcars. Now she should go, yeah, that's the play, I believe. Now she might just save it. Not holding my breath. But 5 goes to the 6 point, 4 goes to the 9 point. Filling the 4 point with a 4 or something like that is usually, like, really bad in a position like this. Now she wants, I think she should go 13-9 and 7-6. This is okay. It keeps more aces as crossovers, but it might be wrong. It might have been not have been right to waste the pip. Now, now is it 2 crossovers or is it? No, that has got to be wrong. No, not filling the 4 point. Oh, that's got to be wrong. It's not going to matter too much after that, and now there's no gammon savings. So now it is double match point.
Marty, down with 2 with the 4-1?
I think down with 2, yes. And if you're going to make 2 crossovers, you would have been better to go 9-5. And 13-12 instead of 8-4, 13-12. Because filling the 4 point is not your priority. Maintaining aces to cross over is a priority. And that is why her crossing with a 5, 9 to 5 might have been right. Might have been. But since she had one extra 13 to 12 crossover and a transpositional ace 8 to 7 to ensure an ace for a crossover, I think that 13 to 12 had to have been right. And the first time when she made 2 crossovers. Anyway, this has gone, I forgot, I didn't see the first moves I was talking about last game. Apologies in TV land. But Gary is a favorite. They do not care. Gammons are not germane. No, gammons don't count double. Gary is a nice favorite. He's made a 10-point. He's ahead in the race. Linda hopes to maintain shot equity. She's got to go 21 to 20, 13 to 9. She hopes to restrain that checker back there. Gary hopes to advance it. He's going to go 24-20, 8 to 7. Wants to get out, and Linda says, I will attack you if ever I can. And I can. I think the pip count is not close, and I think that 13-7, 9-5 is forced, in effect. But that would depend on the actual pip count. 156 for white, and 127. Yeah, she should have hit. But now she is going to hit. Shall she play 6 to 5? I would. I want to aggressively improve my forward position. And I might want a 4th checker back. Yes! That's a nice play, I believe, from Linda. And Gary says, well, you can have all of your checkers back if you really want to. And she says, well, I will. Darn it, I didn't make my 1 point. Now I think she should make her 4, keep the contact out there. Yeah, just make the 4. If he hits you, you don't care. You want a double anchor. You want pressure.
What do you want with your 5, ideally, when you're playing 2 double anchor? 5-4 or 5-2?
It depends on the outer board structure of the opponent, how easy it is for them to bear in each case. So 5-4, a 5-4 back game or holding game / back game or holding will save more gammons because the points are more advanced. So if there's an outside prime against it, it generates a lot of shots. But if there's not some outside prime, then it doesn't. Now here, Linda she's aching for a double 1 or a 2-1 to make the 23 point, which would have been better because the 8 point is influenced, right? So now Gary, why don't you make your 4 point? Is my question. There you go. It's a key point. And even if Linda hits, it's not like you're going to be. Now that's an ugly. So, but she's alive. She's got the ace point. So she just goes 6 to 3, 6 to 1. And she knows the stuff. She can remake that board. Hopefully she can get out. Gary's just going to play safely with a 6-4 like that and hope that Linda will roll double 3s or some nasty thing like that, or even 5-2, which is nasty enough. I think she should go 4 to 2, remake her board the old-fashioned way, and now he's not going to break his 10 point. Please don't. But he does. He wants to crack her. Look at that there. That wouldn't have moved, but at least she's got 2 checkers in play for improvement. I guess he wanted future safety. Now I think he should play 2 checkers with the 4 point, like for more building power, for not breaking the 8 point with the 6. And now she's going to make her 6 point and decide what to do with the last 2. Well, that's 1 of them. That's 3 of them. That's just the way to look at it. And she says, all right. Oh, no, that's not legal. Is that legal? No, that's not legal. That's not legal. She played a 6 instead of a 4, and he didn't see it. Doggone it. She's gotten some more timing. But now she's worse off in this variation. She's worse off because she kills a 6. I don't know, but yeah. So the moral of the story is pay attention to whether you're moving legally or not. Her last 4 would have been 16 to 12, but she played 16 to 10
Definitely move
illegally.
up to 23.
What is it? A
Double
1
aces?
what?
Aces.
Aces, yeah. So I would, yeah. I guess I'm just closing my board. I'm closing my board, and I'm
Moving up with all
I'm moving up. I'm closing my board, and I hope that my hapless opponent Gary Koscielny will roll. What is she hoping for?
boxes.
6-5,
Or boxes.
2 blots.
Okay.
No, 6-5 is only 1 block. Yeah, boxcars, I guess is worse. Okay, so what is that? That's a double 4, and there is a. Now she can get out with any 6 or 5. She has a closed board. The excitement is palpable, and a 4-2 is safe for the moment. 6-4 blot number now. 5-4 she must go. Not go from the back. I think she did the right thing. Now I think she's got to go if she can right now, but she doesn't have to. She keeps her closed board. Gary's still got a 6-4, and he's got a double 4 blot number as well. Now he's got to clear his 5 point, and now she is more likely to move. She's still got bad 4-2 and the like, but she is able to escape. 6-4 is bad. 4 what is bad? 6-2 is good. Now he's got a bad high 3 doubles, and she's got to keep her board in case of those high 3 doubles, which is the bulk of her shot equity.
No shots now.
Not yet.
Game over.
And she should break from the back, I think. Still, maybe. There's an argument for breaking with the 3, but if you don't have any blot numbers, I should just bear one off. Just bear off. It's the same 6 numbers, or however many numbers. It might be fewer than 6, and it's gone. She should resign, move. 2-1, 2-1, 2-1 is 3 numbers. 2-1 is 4, 5. Did she have 6 rolls? Did she have 6 rolls to bear off all her checkers? 1, she has 13. I think so. I think she should not have resigned. But the extreme gammon error in the error rate calculation that she made by resigning rounds to 0. It doesn't even show up at probably 4 decimals of equity. But it was there, I believe. I think I convinced myself it was there. Well, anyways, a very interesting match. Well played overall that I could see. I just agreed with a few things. I want to see if the illegal play that I think was made was actually an illegal play. Now we are back. We are back on stream 1. Now we've got Todd Obadal, the intrepid Iowan, versus Steve Sachs, who needs no introduction. We call him Steve Sachs. Steam Sachs. That is his own appellation. That is what he calls himself online. Because steaming in backgammon means, in other gambling games, it means getting upset and letting your emotions affect your play. And he's jokingly saying that he gets upset about stuff. Don't we all, even though we don't show it, all of us, all the time. He's a fantastic player. He's one of my nemeses. Now, Todd Obadal, I think, is making a big mistake here, depending on what the pip count is. If it's not a mistake if Steve is not well ahead in the race. 142 for Steve. Now it's 134. And, I guess it's close enough pips. I guess it wasn't necessarily a bad play by Todd. After this roll, what has he got? 130? Yeah, so Todd is actually up 4 pips after the move. It's not unreasonable to keep the 18 point. And Todd says, well, I don't care about my 8 points so much. I want to build my board. I want an escape hatch in case the evil Stevel attacks me with a 5-4 like that. Maybe I can roll a 1-6 and get away, even if I don't hit and cover. Now, what shall I do? He says, I'm going to hit despite the double direct return shot. He's got also a double 1 and a 5-4 to hit. So 23 hitters. 6-1 is not 1. He'll cover his 2 point. For a menacing 4-point board, Todd Obadal has got 3 blots to worry about. Hopefully he covers 2 of them at 1 stroke, he says to himself. But no, he does not. What shall I do with that ugly number?
I'm loving these chairs.
Okay, well, it's good that you want to.
I think he should probably play 7-2, covering his 2 point, and 7-1, hitting. Now he could make a duplicating play of 16-10, 7-2. Oh no, that would leave 4s as well. No, this is the play. And Steve Sachs is gonna. He might be. This might trigger a double from Steve. He's got 22 juicy numbers to hit, which would give him a good play, a decent play at least for Gammon. He has 9 very bad numbers where he'd stay on the bar. And what is going on there? Oh, they dropped something. And they stopped the clock. Dropped a die or something. Die restored. Steve Sachs is deciding whether to double. He decides not to double. And he is hitting with a 5-4. Might have been afraid of a 4 cube coming back at him. He might not have thought that 22 numbers was enough, given the position. But with the 3 blots, I think maybe it was. Now we are switching again on stream 1, the stream you're seeing right now, and we are starting a round 3 Division 1 Bison Jackpot match. And this is, I'm told this is the money round. Now I'm in this too, but I'm not starting to play till tomorrow. If I want to get in the money round, I probably have to win 3 matches in that jackpot too. So, but enough about me. Let's talk about these contestants. The Intrepid. Now Ray Fogerland has been playing backgammon since the 1990s or maybe even earlier. Al Hodis has been playing it since the 19th century. I'm joking. Maybe the 70s for sure when I first saw him playing in the gambling dens of New York City. Both of us were a lot younger. Nearly 50 years ago. And Al is still with it. He had a hiatus. And when he first came back, he was under the impression that backgammon should be played still a lot like it was in the 70s. But since then, since I first saw him play after his hiatus, I think he has played a lot of backgammon in the modern era, and he has modernized. And that is a decent play by Ray Fogerland to hit after the 4-1 split. I believe Extreme Gammon likes making the 4 and 22 points a little better, if I'm not mistaken, but this play is certainly not bad to hit a blot. Now Al Hodis, no, okay, that was Al Hodis hitting. Okay, Al Hodis is white on. No, Ray Fogerland is black. Ray Fogerland is not. They have you got the. Hey guys, on the stream, you got the players reversed. Hodis is the larger man, and Ray is the skinnier man. Ray is on the bottom, playing Ray Fogel is the green checkers, although on the stream it says the reverse. I am going to try to apprise people of that. Suppose I could log into YouTube with my phone and do it that way. But Ray equals Al and Al equals Ray for the purposes of this stream. They got the players. Carl, they got the players switched on the stream label.
Are you asking me to, you telling me that as a matter of fact, or you?
I'm leaving it up to you whether to tell Dmitry or not. Dmitry Obakov, I think he's probably in the streaming room, in the playing room.
In the playing room?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know who Dmitry is, right?
I'll probably recognize him, I know the name.
Yeah, he's a tall guy. He speaks with a Russian accent.
Okay, that's what I expect.
He's 40-ish something,
both
40
of them,
something.
or both of them? Or
Yeah,
just
the names should be switched.
on both games.
No, that is not streamed.
on
That they have right.
Okay.
I believe, yeah.
What was it?
Okay, thank you, Carl. Oh, Dima, there he is. Hey, you got the names wrong on this one. Names backwards. Ray is on the bottom and Al Hodis is on the top. Thank you. Thanks, Carl. Yeah. Okay. So the intrepid Dmitry Obakov is going to relabel the stream names. Ray and Al are maybe about equally tall, but Al is the more massive one. And if you see the arms in question, you can see that the player on top has the more massive arms. You can see him Al's got the hat and he just lifts it. You can tell who's who. And Al says, look, I am winning. I've got a direct shot. I've got some gammon chances. I'm going to not lose my market. And look, even if I don't hit you, I'm going to be a favorite by running. Now, Ray would be taking this cube mostly a lot. And there's a double 5, and he's going to count the race by his difference method. 124 he's got, and Al has got 104, so he's going to keep his bar point. Hey, Rory, I apologize. I'll talk later about it.
About what?
Ad.
Huh?
Chicago Chicago tournament ad.
What do you mean?
It didn't hit the magazine until the tournament was over, so you get money back. And we're going to give you extra good coverage next issue.
I'm not worried.
Right, yeah. Little editing faux pas of the Primetime Backgammon magazine. We have to rectify. Okay, so Al Hodis moved a checker into his 5-point. It was probably a 6-2, could have been a 5-3. Now Al loses his 8-point. He's not worried he'd be doubling a position like this anyway, given his lead in the race. 84 pips for him. And 112? Is that for Ray? 62, 94, 100, 105. Wait. 32, 42, 43, and 62 is 105. Yeah. So it's still a big lead. Now that was a forced 6-3, I think. Because I don't think he would have done that with a 5-4. Now Ray says maybe I should give him a 6-1 blot number and try to cover my 4-point. And Al Hodis says I'm going to make my board up, close it, hope not to be hit. Ray says I'm going to make my 4-point and my 3-point and hope that Al Hodis leaves a blot right now, and he does not. I think you should play 6-3 and 2-1 probably to save a 5. But he says, no, it is more important for me to hit blot free if Ray is the one who rolls a 6, and he might well be right. And there it is. He would have had left a direct shot instead of a 17-1 shot. The variation shows one reason why Al Hodis may have made the right play with his free 1. I'm not saying it was the right play, but this variation is what he was worried about. And now he is, because he had a spare on his 5-point, he was able to take his double 5 blot free. Al Hodis is in other words, he's aware of all these considerations and why he's no slouch. He understands the game. And I think, actually, if I'm not wrong, I know Ray Fogel lives in Las Vegas. I think Al does too. And I think Al has won in the past the Club Championship of Las Vegas. Ahead of Ray Fogerland even. So that is reasonable. And it not going to matter after Hodis rolls double 4s. Ray says, shall I resign or shall I never resign? After my no heart, he never resigns. He might get 3 rolls to get off. He might. Or he might not. This is Jen.
I surrender.
And Ray knows it. So Al Hodis takes the lead in the 11-point match in a money round of the Division I Masters event called the Bison Jackpot. So Ray has won his first 2 matches, as has Al Hodis. I don't know who they have played, or indeed whom they have played. But we got 2 veterans. They've been around forever. They've had their share of great results over the many, many years. Ray is in the American Backgammon Hall of Fame. And he's the number 2 points winner of. So now Ray had better hit loose. Which he knows this one. The idea is if you make your 3-point, you're giving your opponent the full roll to do something good, such as anchor on your own 5-point, or make a point up forward, or even run away. Whereas if you hit him loose, he may miss you, as Al Hodis has just done in this case. And if he does miss you, and he's only not even a 2-to-1 favorite to hit that thing, then you can make a big gain by making the 5-point, and that's what has happened. And Al has double hit with a 6-5. He's not out of the game yet, but Ray has the advantage with a bigger board, a direct shot. He's brought 2 checkers in, and now Al has to scramble to consolidate. There's a 6-5, which is not the greatest. Now, he probably will hit on the 5-point and make the 1. He could play safe. He could make the 1 and lift 11 to 6. That's not really in Al's style, but Al says it's too risky the other way. And there is that's Al Hodis. Al Hodis is on the left. Al Hodis, they corrected the name labels. Al Hodis versus Ray Fogerland in round 3 of the Bison Jackpot. And on the right, we've got the other money round, Steve Sachs against Todd Obadal. So I'm commenting on Hodis versus Ray. I was going to say about Al's conservative play with a 6-5. The old New York money players, like Al was, and I was to a lesser extent, much lesser extent, they would play conservatively in many ways. Some of them would play hyper aggressively in some situations, but most of them would not. And Al probably is one of those who would not. And I said earlier that my impression of Al's play when he came back to backgammon after a long time was he was playing almost like he was back in the good old days, and that he has since learned some of the newer tricks that the robots have taught us. But there's a big part of his knowledge that was gained in those days, and it is real knowledge, not just, misconceptions. He's got a lot of real knowledge from the good old days. And maybe that 6-5 as he played it was some of that knowledge. Because he could have made a very loose, aggressive play, or he could have made a safe play that was unattractive but might have been best even so. Now he says, all right, I can't make an anchor. I'm just going to improve my board and duplicate hitting numbers. And Ray says, what is my pip count? How many good numbers do I have? 128 pips for Ray. 129 for Al. Might be worth a double anyway. Probably, maybe not quite. What is that? A 3-2 is good. Now this is the kind of thing, if you could lose your market or almost. Well, this might have not. If he comes in, I don't think it's a market loss. If he stays on the bar, I think it is. It's not a play on. It's got to be good enough for a double. And I think Al's going to just say drop. So that was a market loss. Might not have been a big market loss, though. It's probably a medium-sized market loss. Yeah, so in some of those positions, the race is close. You have a few really good numbers. You're hardly ever going to be an underdog anytime soon. It might be worth a double, but so it might have been worth a double there. The slight lead in the match for Al probably wasn't a determining factor. But anyway, Ray got a point and lost his market, but he might be just happy to have lost his market, and he might have made the right cube decision. So he starts with a 4-2. Now, Al, this is something that Al probably never would have done in the good old days, make his 2-point in response to an opening 4-2. At any rate, it would not have been popular around the Mayfair Club and the sleazier places there were. The very, very old Bar Point and the Game Room and all these places. But now that was a slot for Al Hodis. Now that's interesting. Very interesting choice. And Al probably said to himself, I have to repair my ugly position now that Ray has made progress up front. The alternative would be to repair it by getting the backcheckers moving. So I'm not quite sure what Al should have done with that 2-1. I'm not willing just to use my initial impression he should have split as I'm not going to seem too sure of myself when I'm really not. So he might have made the right, made a really good play with the slot, and it's paid off. But shrug. So what if it's paid off? It can pay off, as could the other play. So now Ray's got a 3-2, and he's deciding whether to split his back checkers. If so, how? Or to just make his 8-pointer. He says, I've got to split before he starts having me in more. And if I'm going to split, I might as well split to the higher of the 2 points so that it will be a better anchor if I make it, and I'll have a better chance to escape if I don't. See here, I've made the point. And so Ray is happy to have scrambled to make the point and then made it. And so Al, I believe, should simply go 7-6. I don't think he should do this. He wants to keep his builders in good integrity, and Ray says, all right, I'm going to make my 9-point probably. And Al says, haha, and I'm going to remake my board. Now, what Al might have had to worry about was Ray hopping out and then the blots in the board hurting him. But Al thought that the parlay variations, the multi-roll variations, were probably more important. And Al, I don't think I like that. I think 7-2. What did he play? He played 6-1, 5-3. He could have played 7-2. And then what? I don't know. 7-2, 5-3. Seems like it would have been better. I will say I'm right on that one, but now, anyway, he's made his board up in some semblance of a board, but Ray has got a better quality 4-point board. Now it's a 4.5-point board. I believe correctly Ray has slotted his 2 instead of his 1 because he wants to make the 2 next. And Al Hodes says, nope, I'm not leaving you any 17 number shot. And I will make a 5-point board. And Ray says, well, I might be going to keep contact and keep a beautiful 5-point board to win. He could have gone 5-1, but I think he's right to have done what he did. And Al Hodes says, well, I waited long enough. I'm due for a double 1. And Ray says, that's okay. The race is kind of close. And now I can clear 2 with a 6-3. But he says, I might duplicate a 3. I better count the race first. I think 96 pips for Ray. And did I say a close race? It's like 82, I think, for 82 raw pips for Al, maybe. 22, 36, 46, 50, 82 for Al. And this would be 96. Yeah, so Ray has got a reason to leave a 3 shot, but maybe not enough. And my impression is that he's right. And Al says, I'm ahead in the race. And having touched the cube like that, he must give it by the rules. And Ray says, you're not getting, there's a lot of empty space out there.
Okay.
And Al says, ha ha, I have put my checker on a safe empty place. And Ray says, ha ha, I'm going to make a closed board. And then maybe you won't get by next time. You won't be so lucky to get a 9 next time. And if you do, it might be a double 3. And Al says, I'm probably going to leave him only double 6 and double 4. But wait, he could leave us only a 6-5. He says, well, at least I duplicate double 6s as a winning number. And now Ray says, is it the time for me to come out for more contact? I believe it is the time. I think the extra coverage is golden. And there is a hit and pass. That is the drawback. Double 4 and 4-3 do hit. 4-2 is not chicken feed. Ray's not going to toss it back. He's going to go 5-3. And Al is going to say, if I roll double 6, I might leave 2 blots. But if I roll 6-3, I'm not going to leave any blots. So Ray says, I'm going to wait on the 21 point, hoping you roll a 6-3. Or if not a 6-3, then a 4-3, which forces 6-3, 6-2. And now he's got 6-3, 5-3, 6-1, 5-1, 4-1 as blot numbers. And Ray, unfortunately, does not keep his closed board, but he will, I predict he will simply, maybe he'll play, that's a little better for the race. So it's probably right. 5-2. Now Ray can decide whether he wants to stay, hoping for 66 numbers in 1296. And if he does stay, he'll make a slightly better life the race 4-2. And he wishes he had gone. Maybe. He could have saved a 3-1, you know, kind of thing. But more likely is he rolls a 6 or a 5 or a double 3. I just go. I think it's more likely you're going to win racing than you're going to win by after you hit. And he's got 2 extra checkers off. But Ray says, you're wrong, Marty. I want that shot. I'm going to be such a big underdog. And there's Al Hodis saying, I'm not going to leave you a shot. And Ray says, well, I'm going to get gammoned either yeah. I'm going to lose like a gentleman, as Herb Gerlin used to say. And it looks like Al is just going to be up 4-1 in the 11-point match. A roughly 2-1, maybe 65%. Maybe 65-35 from that score, something like that. Oops, Ray gets 3 off. That's good. And he all he needs is 3 4-checker off doubles to win, while Al gets no doubles. He's going to start with a double right now. He doesn't, and that is gin, I believe. I think he needs 2, and he does not have it. He needs 3, and he doesn't have it. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Okay, Dimitri, come here. Take
Sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about. Please tell me so.
Watch.
Emails to Devnall. And Al Hodis has won his second game in which he doubled and Ray took.
Okay. That's 18 and 20 minutes or so. Are you 4?
Yeah.
You're off to a fast start today, Al.
Fast finishes, but we need. The start is no good.
Only one thing has changed between yesterday and today.
Ray Fogerlin writes colorful articles for the U.S. Backgammon Federation's official magazine, Primetime Backgammon.
Let's give him. Well, we can play with this one until he gets back. Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
I have a certain role in that magazine. I edit just about everything and write some articles too.
That last night.
And Ray writes colorful articles about his experiences at big tournaments. He's written others. How to win ABT tournaments. He wrote, that was one of his. So now Ray's behind in the match, and there was an argument for splitting. You know, his argument, the argument for splitting was basically that, you know, he's generating contact and he's got a better inner board. The argument for not splitting is that he's already ahead in the race to develop a prime, and he should press that advantage rather than doing something hybrid. And I think this is just a double. I predict Al will not take. We've seen Al not like to take these things, especially with the lead in the match. I don't think Ray is really not going to double this. He's just making sure. But he rolls. I'm wrong again. Wrong again. Shall he make his 9-point? That is what I would do. Or shall he enter on Al's 4-point and safety that thing? I think I would. That 9-1 is a juicy positional advantage. And now I think Al will simply make his 1 point and then decide whether to take a cube or not. Or he says, all right, no, I'm going to gain Tempe. And now I think Ray's really going to double him now. He's really going to double him now. So they swapped out the clocks.
I think I might have to send this. We'll be going along the route. All right. I think.
Let me see.
And Al says, all right, I was
Oh,
just
yeah,
bluffing.
Did it work? Okay, good. Then
Hoping to sucker you in on a gammon try or
That's
whatever.
right.
Maybe you'll roll double
Oh,
sixes.
It was giving you a point. 2.
Yeah, I think that was a market
For
loss
six.
for Ray.
Yeah, I prefer this.
If Al was indeed even taking before.
Thanks, Dimitri.
If he wasn't, it was a break even in the sequence,
care
but
what
Ray
Al
might
said
have rolled
about you.
badly,
I
or he
like
might have become too good to double. Anyway, it's 4-2, 7 away, 9 away.
Oh. I looked
That's right.
Ray slotted his 5-point, and Al Hodis decided he'll make a human play of hitting and making the 20 and the 9 points, so he's got a better positional structure.
I know you've been
A
having
super aggressive player would have just made the 4-point,
1.1, 3 point. I mean, the highest
and
number you had was 3 point.
because there was that outside blotted range, he would have been,
Extremely well.
that would have given him more of a chance to hit that blot next turn. But Al says, I want a nice structure up front and a nice situation with my back checkers. And Ray says, all right, I have to get my back checkers going. Best way to make a good point is to slot some points, and Al has as well. The drawback of plays like yours is that I could roll a joker, and maybe if I'm lucky I can play on for gammon for a while.
I look at her, I'm blaming it on her.
And Ray says,
The only
you can play on for gammon if you like, and Al says, no thank you, I will cash.
I'm gonna have many checkers up. So
It's a real question whether to play on for a gammon here
So you give me 1 instead of
in
6.
that position. There's a good argument for it.
save
But
you
a good argument for cashing, one argument is he gets to even number of points away.
All right, give me a 4 and give him
And there were a few numbers that didn't hit anything. Some, well, double fives hit something.
okay.
6-5 didn't hit much of it. I mean, you could hit on the 1 point, but that's not so desirable. It wasn't like it was a gin position for Al by any means, but I think he might have had a lot of strong doubles in the offing. So Al likes to be aggressive, so he aggressively brings two down. And double fives could be played in no other way than by making the 3-point. And Al says, shall I slot a point or shall I stack on the 6-point? And the right answer is he should slot, and he does slot.
Dimitri, these dice are broken.
And Ray finds another beautiful double 5.
Do they stick?
If you've rolled one of these front-loading double 5s, now that action by Al
God, I got nice
is
spares.
questionable. Monkeying with the cube, I don't know what he was doing, but it wasn't his turn. So he might be allowed to. I don't know what he said either.
Up in the race so I can
I'm
get
not
home.
saying he did anything improprietous. He had a reasonable double,
That might
though,
be dangerous, but I'm gonna try it.
before he made his 5-point. But he might be thinking
I'm gonna double, cause you have a head.
he's got a more than reasonable double now, having made his 5-point. And
Let's see, I'm up 11,
but Ray says, well, I might be ahead of the race,
and 11, that's 22.
enough to take a cube,
6.
although I am an underdog. I don't want to be gammoned.
I don't think I'm gonna.
I do want to win the game.
So,
I do have a crummy looking position. He does have a lot of ways to hit me. If I pass, he's only odd away, 5 away. When 5 away, he's going to be really conservative with the cube, much more so than 6 away. And any one hits, double 6s hits beautifully, double 5s hits beautifully,
Okay, yeah.
double 4s hits pretty darn well. But Ray says, I'm behind in the match. I'm not out of this yet. I'm ahead of the race. And Al Hodis says, shall I make the bar point and restrain you? Shall I hit on the 1 point like a wild beast? And Ray says, ha, you didn't hit. I did come out. Now you have to split. And he will split and stay there. And Ray says, I cannot redouble you because my position isn't good enough because I've got all these stacks and blots. And you've got a better board in prime. I want to make sure I really have 107 pips. And you really have 115 pips. And I really want to make sure my eyes don't deceive me when I roll 6-1 and point on you. And Al Hodis says, well, maybe I'll roll a double 5. No, I'll make a point. And Ray says, maybe I'm ahead enough in this race to double 100 pips for Ray. 115. It might be a Might be a wait because he might have a take even after this or something. Because it's not a pure race. Al has got significant holding equity here, and now he's got a. There aren't any blot numbers that I see right now for Ray. 91
18, even, 10, 18.
to 10. Am I wrong about the pip count? 59, 69, 87, and 14 is 100, 109. 91 to 109. So 18 pips. I can't resist redoubling. And Ray is not shy. So he cleared his blot and he didn't roll a 9 or something, or an 8 or something. And Al says, I'm now sorely tempted to take based on the possible Baron problems and the holding game equity of the third kind.
Scared the pee out of me. I'll be right back.
I'm sorely tempted. We didn't have a lot of a recube equity or something like that, but the kind of wins he might get, I don't think a redouble would enter into it all that much. Interesting position. It is now 5 to 4, 6 away to 7 away. And so supposedly Al is about a 5 to 4 favorite in this 5 to 4 score to 11. These are not shrinking violets, these two players.
Were you the only two Vegas guys here?
Their brains are growing a mile a minute.
Vegas guys that are here?
Yes, yeah. Nobody's traveling anymore.
I could report on the status of the other money round match, round 3 match in this jackpot. Steve Sachs and Todd Obadal are tied
Next week.
at 7 away piece. Steve Sachs has just rolled a joker. He had other numbers that were pretty darn good too. He had a couple bad numbers, but Steve is a big favorite in this game with Todd Obadal in Cuba on 2.
Feels much better.
He might get lucky and win a gammon. He probably won't.
Okay.
Todd is anchored on Steve's 2 point. And Steve has got a solid 5 point prime in front. He doesn't have, from his 8 through his 4, he doesn't have his 3 made. He has a lot of builders. And he keeps rolling cock. Now we're back. Live action. Ray Fogel against Al Hodis. Ray has opened with a 4-1, and the score does not make either player have a bias as to great aggression. Now the 4-3 reply to Ray's 4-1 split. This the play that Al Hodis made might look strange. But I am going to venture to guess that this was a play he learned from latter-day backgammon robots. It is considered best by Extreme Gammon. The idea is your alternatives are so bad you might as well hit to gain a tempo and split to try to make an advanced anchor. So he has made his advanced anchor, and Ray has not hit him. Ray should play 13 to 7, I think. And keep some pressure on that back checker. I think that Al is ahead in the race, is he not? I guess Ray didn't want, 3-4, 3-6 hit cover variation, and he didn't want to play too big. But I think he would have been justified in. And now Ray is breaking an anchor to hit against Al's superior board. He's got it's not a great quality 2-point board, but he decided, I want to send a checker back. I don't want to just play meekly and let Al have the full roll to improve his position, so I'll hit even though it's a bit risky. Al could have broken his 8-point to hit, but he decided that was a bit too much. He'll keep his 8-point and hop out to he rolled a 5-4, he hopped, no, maybe it was something else. Maybe it was a 5-4, and he entered and he came out to the 16-point instead of playing 13 to 8. It was an interesting idea. It was meant to generate contact. That is what was that, a 6-1? And I would have lifted that blot. So it looks like Ray hit 15 to 9, and with a 1 he played at 21 to 20. He could have wimpily lifted the blot 9 to 8, and he elected to keep the 9-point slotted and also in use as another builder for his bar point and his 5-point. It's not the worst idea at all, but me, if I were behind in the race, or if I had the race, excuse me, not behind, but ahead, I might have just lifted the blot and tried to consolidate. But like I said, Ray's not a shrinking violet, and he made a more optimistic play. But here he really has no choice. And Al says, well, I'm going to hit you, and will I play purely and go 13 to 8 for another builder? Will I play more conservatively? He says, I'm going to play. I'm not going to be scared. I need more ammo. And Ray Fogerland says, well, ammo schmammo. Shall I stack on my 6-point? Shall I make an optimistic play 13 to 11, or shall I make another pessimistic play, minimizing my block count? What was right, I do not know. I'm sympathetic to Ray's play very much. I think Al Hodis ought to look at it carefully. My first impression is to make the 4-point heavy, 8 to 4 3 times, using the checker on the 18-point as a container, as a lurker that might generate extra shots next turn, and making an instant 3-point board, which is not chopped liver. That's what I would do. I guess Hodis has decided the same thing. And Ray Fogerland hopes for safe play. There's one. Stack them up. 3 stacks of 5. 1 stack is 27 pips. No, not 1 stack, but one set of 3 checkers on those points is 27 pips. So 5 times 27 is 135, and that is Ray's pip count. That was a 6-5 by Al Hodis. He decided he would not leave a blot on the bar point. So I get 143 pips, so that would mean Ray's had 8 pips. And he very quickly decides that he's had 8 pips. Now will Ray leave a 7 shot in return for building power? He says, no way am I going to stack on my 6-point. And Al says, if you look the other way and I bump the table, I can claim that I rolled a 4-3, but instead I'll roll a 5-2. Ha ha. So much for your building power. And Ray says, well, I'm going to hit you back. So there. But where will I hit you back? Now, I think he should hit back outside. I think he should hit back on his 11-point, simply because he will have a point slotted in the inner board of Al Hodis. I wrote a whole article, I said something to do with boots on the ground, where you've got a situation where you have to make some kind of a loose play, right?
Try this.
And
Excellent.
a lot of the loose plays, you should be biased toward leaving a blot in your opponent's board, one or more blots. And I think that was one of them. It sort of fit the pattern, but you know, I'm not 100% sure because there's a lot of extra considerations having to do with duplications and
I knew as soon as I said 5-2, I
things
knew
like
he
that.
was
But I think that the shot count and the anchoring equity and the duplication of twos to hit in both places after 13 to 11, noting that a 5-6 and a 4-4 would also, a 4-4 is a duplicated hit, but a 5-6 wasn't. You know, you have to integrate all those things. Ray has stayed on the bar, and Al Host says, you got a blot on your board. I'm threatening to make a nice board. If you take, I might get 4 away. If I gammon you, I make a 2 away. I predict you're going to drop. I think you should drop, but that's neither here nor there. And Ray is PO'd a little bit about the sequence, maybe. But I think he's going to make the decision based on what he thinks about the position rather than how PO'd he might be. And I predict Ray's going to take a little while and then he's going to drop. Because to win requires a parlay, and the fact that he's on the bar against this pretty decent building power and this, you know, favorable race for Al, I believe, and a blot in his board, a weaker board with a blot, and Al has got an anchor. It's all these things are adding up to pass in my mind. And let me count the pips again. I won't do any adjustment to the pips for on the bar, although I know how to do that kind of weird thing. It's more like you use that calculation, Danny Kleinman calculation, as a baseline, and Ray says, all right, I think I have enough to take this. And Al Hodis says, well, I didn't make a point, but instead I will come out and I will come around to the 10 point for a builder. And even if you roll double 5, I might hit you back. And Ray says, well, I'm going to roll 1-3, which is kind of oogly moogly. And Ray can come in on Al's 3 point, and he can push 2 to 1, so he can have a better chance to escape. But he says, I'm going to leave my butt on a point you would rather that you. And Al Hodis says, of course, I'm just going to point on your head, and I'm going to. But he says, "Oh no, I can just win the race." But I would point on head there. Would I do a hybrid point on head? 21 to 16, or would I do a full aggressive point on head, 16-11? And I would have made the aggressive play just like Al Hodis did. So I want to win that coveted gammon. There's the 3, and there is another point made in the board. I mean, I think Ray made the right play with the 3-1. And Al says, well, I got to attack you one way or another. How will I do so? I think he's just going to play 10 to 3. I predict he keeps the anchor. 10 to 3, 10 to 4 from here with a 6 is it's a little hokey, but Al says, I want to make a pure play, and, you know, if you hit and cover and I fan, so what? I'm happy I did, because I got more return shots at you now. In other words, Al wasn't afraid to make a pure, strong, aggressive play. He might well have been right. And my knee-jerk play was to make a wimpier play. And Al says, see, I rolled a joker. But he can't hit anything else. So I suppose he's just going to make the 15 point and lift 10 to 7 and hope for better things. And Ray is still sort of behind the 8 ball. If he comes in with a hitting number, he doesn't. And now he's got Al's duplicated his own 4s to cover and to hit, but so what? He's going to hit with a 6-5 instead. Double 3 would be nice. 5-3 would be nice. Ray is still on the hope to survive mode. Al has got non-duplicated 6s and 2s to hit on his board. There's a 2. An anchoring number would be nice, whether 5-2 or any 3. 4-1 is not a 5-2 or any 3. There were double hitting numbers, but that's a 6-4, which is a try for the closeout play. I think Al made a good play with that earlier 6, whatever it was, that led to this position for him now. And now I think he's just going to go to the. He could switch to the 4-point, but that would make Ray's 4-4 joker worse than his 3-3 joker. And I think it's the same number of covers. And Al says, all right, close board, huge chance to win a gammon. I will try to get my back checkers away, and he's going to go 9-4, 9-3, 10-4. There's no other play really but 9-3. The drawbacks of the other are so big. And he rolls a 6-2 cocked. Will he roll a 6-5 uncocked, or 5-5 or 6-6? No, he's going to play. I think the question is he going to play 7-2, or is he going to play? Is he going to? He could. He says, I'm going to pre-clear my. This might even be right. This is sort of an advanced trick. It gives up an immediate double 6, which is good for saving the gammon, although it might not do it too well. Now I think he's going to barrel one off because it leaves the fewest shots next time if Ray fans, and it gets a checker off. And this might have been Al's safest bet. Shall he take another checker off? Does not. He's playing for safety. He says, I win so many gammons, I'm not going to even take a tiny bit more extra chance by leaving 3 doubles in 70% of the cases. I would have considered it very carefully before I made a move. But Al might have just been right, and he might have just known it without having to think. And Ray's chances to save a gammon from here are pretty slim and dim. So it doesn't much matter how he plays it. I would not be playing 13-9. But like I said, it's the error probably rounds to 0. If it was an error even. No, you just put him on the 6-point. 13-9 is not happy. But it might not be too unhappy either. Ray will save the silly backgammon, and then he will resign, I'm sure. Or he'll make Al Hodis roll. And that's gammon. That's what I would have feared in a position like that. And Al Hodis, the technician, played it very well, I believe. So now Al Hodis has 2 away versus 7 away. So this opens might open the possibility that I play Ray Fogerland next in my first match of the same tournament tomorrow. I'm not sure if Ray has the opportunity for a buyback at this late hour. I don't even know what hour it is. What hour is it? Pull out my phone. And Ray Fogerlund is now in this game shooting for a nice gammon, and Al Hodis has rolled a crummy 4-3. He must lift. I think maybe it's time for an optimistic double, very aggressive double, and Al's got to really think, because Ray has got 10 checkers in the attack zone. The attack zone is all of the points in your board. A checker is in the attack zone if it is within your inner board, or if it is 6 points or fewer points away from an open inner board point that you would like to make. And by that definition, which I've never seen I'm the only one who has ever articulated it that way. I think it is what is really meant by the people who invented the term. By that definition, it was very risky for Al to risk a 4-point gammon at that score. So, and I think I would have dropped in his shoes as well. So Ray is open with an aggressive 5-2, 2 down, and Al Hodis has replied with a split, and Ray has hit, and Al has hit back, and Ray has rolled a slightly crummy 4-2. Ray has 2 checkers back, Al has 3 checkers back. Al has rolled a nice double 5 with which he'll make his 3-point as well as his 1-point. Seeing as how his other 2 5s, besides making a 3, are crummy. He doesn't want to go 13-8 twice. He does want Ray to be on the bar with 1/4 of his replies here, so that he can play on for an undoubled gammon and maybe get it. Ray hopes for a 4, or a 2-2, or a 5-1,
4 points is no worse than 2.
or a 5-5, or a 5-6, or a 2-6,
Look at all those juicy, coveted blots.
or even a 5-3.
Only 4.
And Ray is talking and laughing.
Absolutely.
This might be the worst cube I ever gave. Let's see.
Don't waste your energy, Ray.
I know what happened. I just
Simply roll double 4s and
3 or 1 bonus.
double 5s, I guess, is the best roll. You hit twice and make an inboard point.
That's the kind of game I could win.
Oh, he's going to double?
I'm in an anchor. I'm gonna double.
Of course you can win this game.
Yeah.
I suppose his idea, now this is his idea,
I don't blame you.
he can lose his market.
Anything is possible in backgammon.
He doesn't want to lose his market.
That's who that he might be able to
And
win.
if he rolls something bad, he may get undoubled gammon anyway for the match.
I know I can get gammon.
The trouble with this play is that now Ray cannot stay alive
Then you get 4
in the match by losing only 1 point. He will lose the match if he loses this game.
2.
And I suppose he's got to hit
bloody,
loose.
Oh,
And all of that means that I would not have doubled,
Yeah, well, I can't. I wanted to hit one.
because the chance of losing the market is kind of slim.
The only other thing I wanted to do is unstack this.
And
one
if so,
right
it might
here.
not be by much. Double 6 would be a good start to market loss for Al to roll here. Well, he can't hit anything, but he can make his 10 and 8 points.
okay. 1,
I
2,
suppose
3,
he will do
4.
so.
All right.
Bad.
And Ray is still, now Ray should be unhappy he is doubled, because now his chance of losing his market is
Better than double
kind of
6.
slim. He wrote
Absolutely.
a nice 5-2 or a nice 3-2 would be good.
That number.
Hey,
All right, I got that. Cannot cover. But
Ray has an unenviable problem, which is that if he makes his anchor, which he'd better do,
before I do that, I
he
could do this.
has to leave another blot.
Now you got.
If he does this, he is improving his board,
All right, so I'll make this.
but he is also
Maybe I'll just
letting Al have a very fine chance to gammon him undoubled. If he plays 8-4 and 23-21 like he just considered,
stuff for.
Al is a 7-5 favorite to hit one of those 2 blots.
I gotta make that.
And he says,
All right.
gosh darn it, That's the best play on balance.
I give you an ace.
It is essentially a gammon go position for
Aces,
Ray.
twos, and
This is a worse
Oh,
play
there
on
we go.
balance because he's got the same.
We'll have some good little game. that
He's
we
got
get to play this game.
24 numbers to hit something, right? Instead of merely 21. And now Al, that's a good non-hitter. He makes the midpoint. And Ray says, shall I leave a point slotted in my inner board, or shall I just play 11 to 9, 4 to 3? He says, no, I am a very strong man, and I will keep a point slotted and minimize shots. Debatable. Says he duplicates some aces to make the 5-point, well, 6-1 to make the 5-point. And Al Hodis has rolled a 2-something. Not sure what it was, but
Just seems like it's got to be in this play. All right.
Ray has made a 4-point board. And Al has rolled a crummy 2-1. I don't think he wants to break a point, but he may have to. The alternative is he breaks his inner board or he puts a checker in a bad place. I am leaning toward 6 to 3, the wimpy play. Just because I don't leave anything open. And there he goes.
Well, I hope I don't roll double fives because I won't know.
He's
what
not afraid to be a wimp, as the saying goes. Hey,
Hey, how are you?
nice to see you.
Who are we commentating on?
I'm commentating on Al versus Ray here,
Uh-huh.
and here we are. So Al has just made a wimpy play. He came off the bar with a 1 or something, and I don't know what he did. Well, he rolled a 2-1, and he played 6 to 3, so as not to leave an extra blot. And Ray Fogerland he doubled really early,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that if he loses, he might get undoubled gammon for the match anyway, and he might lose his market, so why not double? But my judgment was that he was over optimistic about the market losing and over pessimistic about losing an undoubled gammon. And by putting 2-1-2, he forces himself to win the game no matter what.
Right.
In more volatile positions, I would have done it, but I thought he was maybe unjustified. But I'm not 100% sure of that. So now, Ray's got a 3-1, and he says, all right, I'm going to play hell-bent for gammon. If he sixes are good for him anyway, and Al says, all right, you're going to leave me a
Wow.
joker like that, I'm going to
I mean,
roll it.
but slotting it has to be correct, right? I mean, because when
Not-
he doesn't
I-
roll a 6,
I am not sure.
when he doesn't roll a 6, you can try and just prime him out, right?
I am not sure that. I'm not sure what the right play was.
I mean, it's
I
certainly a
don't
nice
say, I don't
idea.
say one is wrong.
Yeah, it's certainly a
versus
nice
the other.
idea if you're missed. You know, your upside is incredible.
Right, so Al Hodis can make his 9-point.
So it looks like he's going to.
Find them if they're
He's
not
got to.
there.
Otherwise, you'll only lose 8 shots. 4-3-6-1, 5-4-6-3 versus, there's the 6-1.
You called it.
8 shots is 8 shots. 22%, 22.22%,
Well, and Ray doesn't have. His,
22.222%.
Ray doesn't have his number, by the way. If you've noticed, it's 2-6.
2-6 in the bar. And Al Hodis says, "Well, I have to leave a blot anyway."
I don't
I'd
like
better
that.
put him
I
on
don't
the
like
bar.
that ace.
Well, yeah. What ace
Yeah.
is there? There's no other ace.
I mean, I'd almost rather slot the bar, to be honest with you.
Oh no.
Well, because it's a direct blot now versus later, no?
No, he would have left a double shot if he slotted the bar because he wouldn't have been. He would have had 5s and 3s he had out there. So it'd be a double direct shot instead of a single direct shot. If he's on the bar, he can stay on the bar 1/4 at the time.
Al's just
So he made the right play with the 1. Well, I mean, Ray is not out of it.
no. How backgammon left? I mean, that anchor is going to be a long-term asset for Ray here.
It must.
Okay.
especially double three there. That's pretty killer.
4, 5.
5-5.
Oh, 5-5.
5 and 4.
I would like to come in.
5-1 isn't bad either.
4.
Does come in.
Now
Wow, look at
Ray's
that.
gonna
Look,
look.
he thought
He's gonna,
about it.
yeah, he's gonna think about it, but I think he's gonna go. I think he's
gonna
just
play
to make a
this down.
safer
Yeah,
play
come around
like
the
this.
corner, I agree.
Yeah, because Al is occupied. He's trying to save, but he has a blot to worry about on his side of the board.
But I mean, that's why he's a world champion, right? Thinking about it at least.
Goodbye.
Love you.
I love you too.
Carrie sends his love to the chat.
I love you in a certain way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Carrie's a fine fellow. And Al plays that, and Ray says, "Now I'm going to hit you with a 9 or a 10. If ever I can. With an 11, I think I'm going to."
It's gonna come
Well,
all
he
the
could.
way
He
around.
could. He could. Well, he could. It's interesting. He
No,
could make
he's
his
gonna leave-
bar
he-
point. He could wait. He could wait on the 16 point and go and move to the 6 point.
This is interesting.
This might.
Or he could do this, which is better for blocking. My first thought is that he should go
My first thought is to bring it all the way because
right. So now
7s and 9s.
7s and 9s minus a double 3
Correct.
is 10 hitting numbers. But he's also got right. Now if he goes to this, I think he should go to the 16 and go 12 to 6.
You wouldn't make the bar.
I would not make the
I would
bar.
not
I
either.
I
The
think
bar
if-
seems too passive here.
right, and I think this. I think
this
he
play.
should. Now he's gonna. No,
No,
okay,
no,
all right.
no.
I wouldn't do this because
Now you only have one number to hit him back if he leaps over you and he doesn't clear the block.
there's that.
See,
Now this would have been a non-hitter and it would have been a
Yeah.
double shot.
exactly.
But now it is a
a
1 and a 9. Well, that's the double 5. At least he's
It's a
got some
decent miss.
more contact.
Yeah, and then he just slapped the 3, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing
Yeah,
else.
sure.
That
Nothing
would've
else.
gotten hit. Oh, that would've been.
Yeah. So moving out to the 16, coming to the 6 would have been left one more way to hit.
Right.
But the hit would not also escape. So the hits are less valuable. And it would break the 10 point. It might leave blots at the outfield.
So
And it
for
would give
now,
better coverage.
Al
And I think
safeties.
the 7 point was not a big deal compared to that. Now he safeties and Ray has
Great
significant shot equity. That's a great number. He's just going to
Wow. He's
make
gonna
his
make his
5
5.
point, which will put serious pressure on Ray if he rolls anything with a 1 right now, which he does not do. He's going to break the 16. I think he must break the 16.
Yeah, he can't leave. He can't leave one of them. That's
No, he's not going to leave one of them, nor is he going to break his 6 point.
This is right. Yeah.
Now
No,
he's
it
got a
shouldn't.
double blot 6-4 number. 5-4 is great
So
clearing
close.
number. Yeah, there's a lot of so close
One
ones,
pip
right?
away from greatness. Huh?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of almosts. Shall he?
Is that a 9?
9. Yeah, it is a 9. So he
should
could
just
play.
forward with the and then the 5.
No, what he's doing is
Save your
he's saying that there's a partial 6 saving effect, and he
gonna
wanted
get a shot.
he wanted to not duplicate a 4 to hit or something
Threes
like
are
that.
duped.
But now he's so what? He's what a free Ray Fogerland lives on.
6 comes down to the 8 point.
I'm not sure.
I think coming
It
down.
might if he comes down to the 8 point, he gets
He leaves him at double.
he
one.
gets
this
gets
gets rid of
he gets
double
19 covers. But it's safer.
Well, now the Joker is.
But now he's got
Gotta cover 3. No.
he's only got 14
So now do you
covers
slot?
now.
I think you should slot the bar, right?
Yes, I would slot the bar. Yeah, now
And
he's
if
got
he rolls 1-6, he deserves it.
he's got 28 ways to cover the 1, and he's got a
Like a weenie?
double 4 to cover the bar.
And you can't be afraid of this. I mean, if you get the
I
number, you get the
go
number.
for the
Oh my God, he rolled
I would
it.
I would
it.
I would go for
1-6.
I would go for I would have gone for it.
Well, you have to. You can't. That's backgammon. That's happens. I mean, double 4 is still a.
It would have
Joker
been a
back.
joker anyway because he would have come out
Correct.
regardless of whether to on the bar.
No, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, double 4 would have hit. That's true. What is that? A 5-2? Blind as a bat.
It's a 4-2.
4-2.
So he should just go there. He has to pay off the He's paying off the double four and the double
Oh, I
six.
disagree with this actually. Oh, he's on
He could,
two
well,
on the
he-
roof. I'm sorry.
But
yeah.
he could have left a could have left a double four and not paid off to a double six, but also paid off to a double five. So I think he made the right
Do
play.
you hit here?
Good
There's
question.
no reason. You only need to win a single, so you could just come in and then bear off the 5, and now you have 4 checkers left on your side.
Or better yet, you can go to the 1 without hitting.
Right.
Because
Which is what he decides to
you're
do.
more flexible. So I think he was right.
This does leave him 2-1 for a natural or double
Yeah,
ones,
2-1, double
twos,
one, double twos is still pretty damn
double
good.
6, double 5, double
So he
two.
goes 3 there and he bears 1 off because it's
no.
this-
He should
yeah,
play
no.
5. Oh,
No,
you're
bear,
correct.
off
Yes,
is the
yes.
safe because there were 2 blot
Correct.
numbers versus 3 blot numbers.
You are correct.
And Ray is hoping against hope, and see he would have been unhappy to have a 3rd checker on the bar here.
Yeah, very much so.
And he plays safe, of course, with 5 off and 4 to
It's
1.
looking like all she wrote.
And Ray is hoping to stay on the bar forever and a day. And he is staying on the bar so far forever a day. And he's hoping that Al rolls a 1. Oh, that's actually bad for Al in a sense.
Yeah,
That
so he needs to fan.
fanning with 2 would be preferred.
Yeah, 2-1.
Bringing in both would be not preferred. Now I believe he's got anything but an ace leaves a block.
Yes.
There's an
An
ace.
Wow.
Store's law is your opponents always roll the ace, and you in their same position never roll the ace.
Backgammon's a cruel game.
It's a CFG. Stay on the bar.
Good match.
God, how about that 1-6?
Yeah, the 1-6, right? Well, the question was, did he give himself? Should he have given himself
Should he have
more
slotted it?
more cover numbers?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's that. Should he have left
double.
the shot in the first place? Let him come out and hit,
Yeah.
or should he not?
Wow.
It's going to be interesting to look at.
Watch it, yeah.
But anyway, Al Hodis has won in the money round. He's in the final, I don't know, 5 or something. I don't know how many are going to survive after this 3rd round. But that was it. Hodis over Fogeland in a very exciting match. I think Hodis, either of them or both might easily have broken the magical 4 PR. Here we are back to more money round action in the Masters Bison Jackpot Division 1 American Backgammon Tour. We have got Steve Sachs 3 away, Todd Obadal, Iowa's finest. He might be the only player from Iowa that I know. Iowa is known for its corn production, more so than even Kansas, where it's wheat production. Nebraska also, well, their college football team, their college teams are called the Cornhuskers. The Iowas, they're called the Buckeyes. Maybe it's called the Buckeye State, whatever that means. Anyway, enough of this silly stuff. Todd could do this, which he did, run, or he could have shored up his inner board 8-2, 8-5, or he could have hit loose and left a double shot, but he didn't. I would have been tempted to play 8-5, 8-2.
This is the last match before we take a break.
All right. Dmitry Obukov, the man from Latvia, he speaks fluent Russian, and he tells me not very fluent Latvian.
And bad English.
No, you're fluent in English. You might have some drollisms, but you speak English way better than I speak French, for example.
What is drollism?
Droll. It's something that is droll. It's not really a word. DROLL. The word droll. It's a little bit funny, you know.
Okay.
But an ism is you make a noun out of this the adjective. So I said you have drollisms here and there, like, you know. So that's not a commonly used word, but I just sort of made it up. I think other people might have used it in the past, but not very many. But anyway, you're a fine fellow. You do a lot for backgammon. You're the Backgammon Masters awarding body. Workhorse. Dmitry Ovakov spells his first name with an IY at the end for reasons I can't get into because it's classified.
It
I
is-
don't want to
it is-
betray my ignorance of the Russian alphabet too much. So anyway, now,
By the way, there is another Dmitry Obukov in the United States.
no, there's not a Dmitry besides yourself.
Yeah, there is Dmitry Obukov in the United States. Believe it or not. He lives in
Oh, there's another?
yeah, in Seattle.
Oh,
I don't know the guy, but once in a while he misspells his.
oh. He spells it with an I only or with a Y only. So this is interesting. At 3 away, Steve Sachs had a nice position, but he determined he counts pips very quickly, and now he says I have 106 pips, and he has
more.
115 pips. You know, I finished quicker than he did, but I might have gotten it wrong. 45, 79, 806 for white, and we got 96 and 19 is 115. Yeah, that was fast.
So 9 pips, no double. This score.
No, but no, I don't know. It's not so clear sometimes because 9 pips. What did I say? 106 to 115 is what I said, and that's what it is, right? Yeah, that's what it is. So this is, and what about distributional problems?
Yeah,
There
but-
are a little bit of distributional problems, not very much. Steve agrees with you, and he says, shall I break all contact? Yes, I shall. Now it is 100 to 115. And Todd says, I'd better roll double six. Now it's 100 to 112. And now it's a double. And it may not be a take because of that effect getting to. Now, if you don't double Steve Sachs, well, it's not either of these going to double. Let's check the pip count again. 112. 100. Yeah. And he says, this is a double, and you have to determine whether you want to take and realize your full recube equity.
Yeah, I think it's a pass because of.
I would pass at the score.
The extra triggers on 3 points.
Yep. Even if not, it might be a pass, a small pass.
About even everything.
Interesting.
Well,
It's an interesting question. It would be a lot closer. Right. Like if you look at Keith count or some, eyesight or something like that, if you move the third checker on Todd's 3-point back to his 4, it would not change the count because they penalize a pip for a gap on the 6, 5, or 4. Get 1 pip for one such one unit, not
But
one Keith count unit, for example.
But wastage elevation, like EPC wastage improves if you.
I would prefer to have it on the 4-point than on the 3-point now. In the long run, Todd's going to fill his 5 and 4 points, but there's a few little funninesses he has to endure. Yeah. And it's hard to get all the plays right, Now what is Todd playing PR-wise? Playing in the 6s or something like that?
I
Maybe.
don't know, but I'm thinking.
He's an open player,
Okay. So you assume probably 7 or whatever.
6 to 7 is my guess, but I've only seen him play a few times, and I've seen him do decently. I'm not dissing the guy at all. He's cashed in big tournaments before. He's relatively new to the scene, but he's not an easy out.
And he has a new mascot in every day.
Oh, he's got little doggies. Yeah, he carries around little doggies with him. Now, I wonder if they're part of his soul. There's a famous series of novels, and Todd takes it because he may think that, Steve is such a great player, and I've got recube equity, and then Steve's going to roll a 2-1, of course. And there's a 6-5. There we go. He's got to take. Now, he should not play that 7. He should play 11 to 5. It's not a big difference, admittedly.
Right.
it's a small difference, but then Steve says, har har, double fours. And he says, I'm going to aim for the old 753 efficiency rack in my board. And Todd ought to say to himself 11 to 6, 8 to 4.
Yeah, he should have.
But these are small errors, right? But they get magnified as your underdogness becomes. They get both magnified and non-magnified as your underdogness becomes paramount. They become magnified because the error is a bigger percentage of your remaining equity, but they become unmagnified because the absolute amount of equity, which is really the name of the game, gets smaller. Now, Todd is a massive underdog because of those double fours. Now, double fives, had he played differently, he might have had a better distribution here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to get these little plays right all the time, or close to right all the time. I don't get them right all the time, of course.
Well, XG doesn't get them all the time. Right?
Even XG doesn't, right? But better, way more than me, right? For example. But we were talking about small errors, right?
Yeah.
But now Steve is now see that little triangular shaped thing that will minimize wastage of pips. That means he's Steve has got 50 pips over there, and he might not have to roll much more than 50 to. He probably wastes about 8 or 9 pips there or something, or even 10. But 7 to 10. I don't know. Art Benjamin's around; he'll tell me. But
You're talking about Steve's position.
I'm talking about wastage of an EPC.
Right.
I don't know diddly.
Do you
It's all by
know-
feel.
Do you know how many pips waste 753 position?
I don't, but it's the minimum for that pip count
For that
for
many checkers.
that many checkers.
Okay, that
It's the minimum wastage.
that position with a small triangle wastes actually slightly less.
How many are slightly less?
Slightly less. Just
Then?
by a fraction, maybe half a pip less
Then what?
than the 753. Just because you have less checkers left, and you still stand very efficient.
Oh, I see. So the pip count is different, but the efficiency is the same.
So
Okay.
the 753 weighs a little bit over.
I see. Okay, I see what you're
Over
saying.
7. Okay.
So that must be the same for the other one.
All right. So maybe even less.
Yeah.
Than 7.
Now I wrote a program long ago to essentially get the EPC, the one-sided mean rolls to bear off.
Mhm.
It was about 2 pages of code or 3, whatever. It was an easy coding test. But I wrote it in some really high-level language where it was more pages. But in some minimalist language like C, it would have been a short program. In other words, you calculate. You have a way to you do a combinatorial counting thing where you characterize the positions, in terms of lesser to greater. So first you look at 1 1, you look at 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, 5 1 6, 2 2, 2 3, 2 4, 2 5, 2 6. And you do the same idea
Yeah.
up to 15 checkers, and you compute the equities of the smaller ones. You invoke the equities of smaller positions when you're computing the larger ones.
Yeah.
And it's all very recursive and mathematically satisfying, and it's a short programming.
Just like in
Listen.
chess table basis and game table basis, same idea.
Yeah, sure. It's easy to characterize in mathematical terms, especially if you're Art Benjamin. But even I'm good enough at this stuff that Art will pat me on the head and give me a cookie once in a while. Same joke again. Sorry, viewers, but we commentators I gotta have fun sometimes. Now, Todd Obadal is down. He's 5 away. Crawford. What is that? About 16% winning chances or something?
15.82.
16. Yeah, there you go. See, some of these geeks, like Dimitri, I wouldn't call you a geek, but because you are one. I'm not hypothesizing that you are one. You are one. That's a compliment in my book. Okay, hit him, Steve. Don't let him make that 5 point. So Todd really wants to win an undoubled backgammon. He very, very, very probably will not. And he might not be even aiming for it. He just wants to win the game. It's almost like a double match point score. He's got to watch out for Steve Sachs, who is a very sneaky fellow. In other words, he knows a lot of tricks to get the most out of a crummy looking position. Now, a gammon will not, at Crawford, a gammon is not going to be much different from a simple win. Now, picture the readers, picture watchers, picture readers.
But backgammons matter since people already have
Back-
4 behind Ryan.
Yes, backgammons are a consideration. How much of a consideration are they? Well, Todd Obadal is a fine fellow in that respect. He has just made a very good play. And Steve Sachs says, I'm going to make my 2-point. It might decrease my chances to be backgammon. And Todd says, I'm going to make my 4-point. And if I can't make my 4-point, I'm at least going to what? What's he going to do? 11 to 11 to like that.
Oh,
There you
I
go.
thought it was a 2, okay.
No, say I have a 6-1. No, he would do this rather than give him 4 numbers to hit on the 10-point. And Steve says, I'm going to slot that key point. I am going to improve my board. I'm not going backwards yet. I don't want to go backwards. I want to go out. Scout. And Todd says, I'm going to hit you. Oh, no, please. Oh, my God. Oh, now Steve could hit, or he can roll a 1 and hit, or he could hit. That's a crummy, really crummy. At least he makes a 4-point board. He doesn't put any checkers strictly out of play, but Todd gave him a free chance to. Now, shall we make the 4 or shall we not? I would make the 4. I would make the 4 in a heartbeat. No, please, Todd, make it. Oh, he says no. I'm afraid of being hit. I'm afraid of him getting a back game on the 2-point and 3-point. Well, I'd be afraid of him making the 4-point and then saving the gammon, unless saving the. Oh, hey, it's cocked. It's cocked. Okay, Todd Obadal, we want you to not. And he says, all right. Now I'm really going to backgammon you. I'm going to double cover the 10 and 9 points. And Steve says, I'm going to roll a double 2. And there goes the neighborhood. But he doesn't. And now Todd has really got green eyes for the backgammon. I suppose he's going to play to the 8-point and the 14-point. He could have given up a number. There's the dreaded double 2. That is what you get if you don't make your points in order. And Todd says, all right, I don't care anymore. I'm going to safety my assets. And Steve says, I'm going to roll 5-1 right now. Did I call it? His best number. Escaping a checker and moving minimal pips and making a 5-point board. And Todd says, well, there's my 6 and that's a 5. He's perfectly right with that. And Steve says a 2-1 would be nice. I will even accept a double 1. A double 2 is not so nice, but at least I have both of my anchors. And Todd Obadal 4-1. Oh, he should clear his 7-point, I think. Shouldn't he have? I don't know. I think he's got more blot numbers. And Steve keeps his board. I think Steve should play 8-2. That might be wrong, though. Where are the blot numbers? We have to look at even and odd. And I guess Steve Sachs has looked so fast that it made my head spin. And there's a 4-1 now, please. He says, no, I'm going to keep. Oh, it's a 4-2. I missed it already. I think maybe he should still cleared his 7-point. However, his idea is to block Steve from moving. But Steve says, well, I don't care. Don't you wish you had cleared your 7-point now? And Todd says, I'm going to clear my. He should clear his 7-point now, I do believe. I would clear the 7-point. He's got some sixes that result that do not play at all. 6-4, the 4 plays only. 6-2, the 2 plays only. 6-1 is bad. 5 where are the blot numbers? 6-1 is the blot number. I don't know. 6-3 is not a blot number. To wit. So Todd found the clearing the right point play. And Steve Sachs says, I will give myself 6s to close and 3s to prime. And I will use my remaining pips of timing the most possible, as efficiently as ever I can, because 2-1 Goober's out the pip. That's a 5-4, so I think he should play safe. Oh, Dimitri's gone. I'm talking to you out there in TV land, so he should take his time. How much time has he got? 2:43. Got a little time. So we can try to calculate the chances of getting hit now versus later. If he moves 5-4 and Steve does not roll some crummy thing, then he's got a certain amount of very bad numbers, and I don't know, 6, whatever, 6-1. Okay, so there is a cover, and now he has got at least 11 safe numbers. He's got 11 and a few more. There is an unsafe number, so he's sort of broken even. Maybe a little worse than broken even, but he only leaves an 11 number shot here. And Steve, if Steve rolls a double 2, he can still play a double 2. It's a 5-6, and he runs with 1 checker all the way. There's no real incentive to. There's a little bit of incentive to go 6-1, but it's not. It's probably. And there's Todd Obadal. He's alive now. He's going to go hit and bounce away. And don't forget to put him on the bar. Steve would make him do it anyway. Hope that Steve rolls a 6-1 or something. Not a 6-2. And 5-3, 6-3 leaves a blot. Oh my God! There are no backgammons in the offing. Steve is going to stay put. If ever he can, he cannot. He will save the gammon because he wants to have a fully free drop next roll instead of a free take. And he cannot be gammoned anymore anyway. Now that. And strictly speaking, the best way to win is 6-5. He can get 3 off with double 5s, 3 off double 4s, 3 off double 6s, 3 off his key because it comes down to an even number of checkers. It looks like Steve has got 8 left. Double 4, yeah! Steve Sachs maximized his equity. He doesn't even have to think about that stuff. Now he can get, I think he needs 3 rolls. He can do it. 1, boom, 2, boom, 3. Done. He needs a double 6 right now. No. And Steve knows it all and sets it up. It is now 7 points post Crawford. All Todd Obadal has to do is win a doubled gammon for the match, win 2 doubled games for the match, or have Steve take a free drop and so go to 3 away and then win a backgammon, or have Steve take 2 free drops and then whatever. I don't know. It's all too tedious for me to enumerate. I feel like Walt Whitman. Enumerations everywhere. The players are taking a much-deserved break huffing and puffing, and I think we have a break from streaming. It's probably the dinner break or something.
There is
It's-
no scheduled dinner break.
No
but-
scheduled dinner break,
but
so
we're
it's
gonna take a break anyway.
a de facto dinner break. Because they want the matches to finish. They're funny that way. They don't want to be playing after midnight. Well, I'm not going to be playing after midnight no matter what. Going to have an early to bed, early to rise day.
Marty, Dan says that you're accidentally hitting the mic
Oh, I'm hitting the mic.
for the stream.
Okay, I'm sorry, Dan.
Try not to touch the mic.
I will not touch the mic. I'm
I got
annoying the
not
watchers.
annoyed.
I'm annoying the watchers. I'm talking about the whole community of watchers.
Thanks, Marty.
Thank you, thank you. My bad, as they say these days, hitting the mic. The only mic I'm going to hit is named Mikhail. Steve Sachs is studiously studying something sitting at the board. As Todd Obadal will presumably be sucked into the gravitational field of the playing board.
You're gonna get a full box of cookies from, I believe this is Matt.
Oh, Matt Patterson gonna give me cookies?
Yeah.
Oh my God. They're not good for me. They're good, I know. Don't cheer, all of you sports fans. Just throw money. Lend me your credit cards. Okay, Todd Obadal is on the free drop path.
Pretty drapish.
And now a free dropism is to
This is a pass.
I pass this one, even at four away I just passed, and Steve does too. So now I wonder if Mr. Obadal is going to creatively wait to double to the time when it might look scary and Steve might chicken pass. Now, Mr. Obadal, I will say, by doing so, you can also help your PR by giving yourself more cube decisions.
Yeah.
People say, well, Steve Sachs is not going to make a mistake. And so I will just double right away, and therefore I will not make a mistake. And if there is a way for me to lose my market, like with a double four right here, probably followed by a fan, might not lose the market even then. But if there's any doubt, and if you're putting your own skill up against Steve Sachs's for, you know, sophistication in such positions, maybe you're better off just assuming that he might not make a mistake and you might make a mistake. But I do it all the gosh darn time. And I have got name players to make big mistakes in dropping
Oh yeah, I do it all the time.
all the time.
I
Steve Sachs does it all the time.
I even do it against XG.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, it's good for my PR against it.
Yeah, but that's
I'm
why
just
I do
kidding.
it.
I know. I don't know. It doesn't mean anything. What you want to know is the mistakes you're making and why. Right? Now we've got that was a good play by Todd to make his 8-point and split his back checkers. And what is that 3-1? It looks like it's Todd's roll.
Yeah,
Where's Todd has got a 3-1 here.
Top 11. Oh, top 9, I mean.
So I would play 13-9. Nice play, because you don't have a 1 if you play to the, and you duplicate something, and you keep your back checker split, just in case he doesn't roll a joker. He rolls like a 6-5 or something. He might double 3 is now nasty of Steve to have done. But now Todd is going to say, all right, I got an anchor now.
Back, huh?
And Steve says, I'm going to roll a double 4 or double 6, and all she wrote.
Kind of a problem here.
I'll take
Now
double
there.
2s. And he rolls double 2s. I've been calling him. And he says, I'm going to make a completely safe play, take a lead in the race, I suppose. 138 for white. I think it's 138 apiece, am I right? I don't know. Steve knows. What is that, a 2-1? Great googly moogly. I guess you're going to go 6-3. But he says, no, I can't. I can't. But he says, yes, I can. I want a 3-point board. A lot of people just don't want to make a dilly builder or go behind an anchor, and usually they're right, but I said I might inhibit Todd from making a correct big play, like maybe 21-16 is okay. I would be inclined to make this play as Todd. It's a little tough because the race is close. And Steve says, I could hit thee. Let me count the ways. But I think maybe he leaves too many. You have 6 shots there, and need to have 6 more shots, so there'd be 12 return shots immediately. Maybe too much. But maybe not. The race is close. What is that, a 6? I guess 8-2. And Todd says, I am not afraid of anything. I don't want to put a checker on a bad point in my board. And Steve Sachs says, well, my ploy worked. I've gained pips, and I have broken my outside checker, my outside point, and turned it into turned my outside checker into a point. And I've got 117 pips, and he's got 120 pips. And now I've got 108. And a double 3, oh. 6-3 is okay. I still would not break my midpoint. But I might break my midpoint anyway, if I thought about it. And Steve says, yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't hurt me unless I roll double 4 next time. And Todd says, I'm going to slot my 4-point probably. Like this. Nice play. Might even be optimal for the double 4s that he might roll right now for a blot. No, I'm going to roll 6-6 and give myself not only a double 4 blot, but a 6-4 blot and a 6-1 blot and a 5-4 blot. Wow, look at all them blotches. So now it is a 5-point board for Mr. Obadal, and Steve Sachs has a few blot numbers, and that is not one of them. But a 6-4 for Steve is now a double blot number, as well as a 6-1 is a single blot, and do we have any other ones? I don't think there are any other ones. And unfortunately, Todd has to either break the point or bury some checkers. And he says, I'm going to keep a possibility of a closed board. And also a long shot racing thing, a long shot race, like double 6s now, or even double 5s now. 3-2, Todd says, well, I'm going to move 5 pips forward, close my board, He might roll a 6-5 or a 6-4 or a double 6 or double 5 or double 4. That's 7 times 11 is 77, 12, 96. 6% on that roll. Now he only has a bad 6-2, but he's got double jeopardy. Now I think he should leave the damn thing outside. But he says maybe I can race. It's not the biggest deal. He could have gone 5-1, 9-7, and saved a lot more numbers next turn. Now he must run with a 6. Maybe it's correct to run with the 6 anyway in the other position. But Todd Obadal reaches the same position he would have done if he had left a checker at a 7 point instead of bearing in. 6-2-5-2, 6-1-4-1. 6-2-5-2-4-2, 6-1-5-1-4-1. That's 12 blot numbers. That is not a blot number. Todd will play on for form's sake. He might win. A 2-1 is not helpful. Steve Sachs might keep rolling 2-1 forever, while Todd rolls double 6 forever. Todd might keep rolling 2-1 forever, and Steve might roll double 6 forever. And Todd will probably roll a third 2-1. You can extrapolate from past experience and be wrong. I believe this is going to be gin right now. You could get 3 off now. 2 off doesn't help much. If he rolls a 1, Jinsky. Steve Sachs. Also in the money in the Masters, along with whoever won that other match, Al Hodis. So that means I may play Todd Obadal tomorrow, or I may play Ray Fogelin tomorrow. If they buy back, if they have a chance to buy back. So I'm going to say adieu. Apologies for any faux pas I might have made knocking into the microphone or saying rude things or the like. But it's all fun. Backgammon is fun. There's a lot to be learned from watching these YouTube matches. Hit like. Hit subscribe. What do they say? Smash that like button. For this tournament, the organizers of this tournament, Dan Minardi et al., along with his staff, prominent among whom are Matt Patterson and Will Reeves, who runs an impromptu shuttle service to the nearby airport. There are other folks I should know the names of. They're on the brochure. I've talked cordially to some of them already. They're a nice group here in Denver. The trophies are to die for. If I get one, if I get the big one, if I finish first or second in the main event, I will have a bison trophy. And since I lived in Buffalo for a long time, I will be happy to have that.
We're gonna kill the stream.
Kill the stream for when? For the whole night?
No, we're
Or
gonna come
later.
back after.
All right.
You know,
Okay, so I may see y'all later, and adieu. Keep on keeping on.
Can you tell me if you still hearing this cracking noise or not? I'll sit here for a few minutes and read the comments. I just adjusted one of the wires. I think that might have been the problem. So how often did you hear the cracking noise before? I'm horrible at singing. Yeah, I adjusted one wire connection after Marty left. So I think it might have been the problem, but I don't know for sure. Uh-huh. Frequently, not consistently. Each time he moved, the table moved. Okay, that's a good clue. I think so. I think that was a problem. So no more noise since I started the investigation. All right, thank you, Matt. Thanks, everybody. Uh, I'm gonna kill the stream. Go to deal with some other issues, like connection issues that we had on the stream uh, several times here. Hopefully we'll get it fixed. Take care now.